So we've learned how to tongue, we've learned how to start and stop our notes, we've learned how to use our air and build our embouchures, and now we want to learn how to divide a long sound into multiple parts. Today, we're going to learn how to tongue twice during a note. Because you know how to talk, this should be a pretty simple exercise for you to understand. I want you to do this. Say ta twice in a row, like this. Ta, ta. Now you do it. I'll wait. Okay, so the tongue moves up, touches behind our teeth, just like we talked about on our starting and stopping exercise, and then it comes back down to the bottom of our mouth. As long as we keep our air moving through our vocal cords, that ah sound continues, and we keep making our sound. It's exactly the same when we're doing this on a reed, or reed and vocal, or on our instrument, or if we're doing breathing and blowing. What you need to do is just move your tongue up, touch whatever it is that we're touching for that moment, depending on the exercise, and then bring it right back down into your checkpoints. So what I want you to do now is pause and practice the Unit 2 exercises that say 2 and 2 on, 4 off, with just your voice, and then come back. All right, now that you've practiced it with your voice, let's practice it with breathing and blowing. So we're going to go ahead and go through the whole exercise, and we're going to do it together. So that is 4 times of our 2 on twice, and then our 4 counts of silence. So here we go. Breathing and blowing first. 1, 2, ready. Excellent. Now, if you need to practice that more, go ahead and pause now and practice it a few times. Once you're done, you can come back, and we're going to do this on reed and vocal. Now that you've got breathing and blowing down with our 2 and 2 on and 4 off, let's go ahead and go to reed and vocal. With reed and vocal, the process is the same. It's the same thing as what we do when we start our sound. Tongue comes up, touches the reed, air pressure begins behind it, tongue comes off, air goes through. When it is time to start our second note, the tongue just repeats the process, touches, and immediately gets off. I like to think that the tongue touches the reed as quickly as if your finger, if you've ever touched something really hot and you touch it and you just pull it back real quick. That's how fast the tongue moves, but it goes in the same way that it would if you were saying ta, just like what you said and what you did on your breathing and blowing. So take a listen first. You should be able to hear 2 very clear ta sounds on the front of each of those different notes. And that's just my tongue coming up, touching the reed, my air pressure staying the same. I'm not changing how I blow at all. I'm not starting my air twice. It's just one airstream. So imagine that you have like a loaf of bread that you just cut in half, right? The tongue is that middle place. The bread is still the same, and it's the same loaf all the way through. That's how you do this, okay? So go ahead and pause now and try just doing this on your own with one airstream. No timing, just tongue coming up and touching, keeping the air moving, touching, keeping the air moving, touching, and then we'll come back and we'll practice in a second. So pause it now. Okay, so now that you've practiced moving your tongue and dividing a long sound into multiple parts and getting the tongue to do what it's supposed to do, let's practice together our 2 and 2 on, 4 off on our reed and vocal. So here we go. Setting it up. I'll count and snap. And 1, 2, ready. Okay, so practice this regularly on your own and in class to make sure that your tongue is perfecting its ability to move up, touch the reed gently, and come back down into its checkpoints. Always make sure it's back in its checkpoints. Keep your air moving the right way, and you're developing the skills that you're going to apply to your bassoon. You can also do this exercise once we put the bassoon together and we start playing our C exercise, which is coming really soon.